Mascots do a lot for selling and publicizing brands and have played a major role in marketing for many years. Watch until number 1 to see how Mr. Clean has changed over the years. If this is your first time visiting The Things, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Here are 10 famous product mascots then versus now. Tony the Tiger. Which animal comes to mind if we say just 2 simple words? Cereal and great. If you guessed Tony the Tiger, then you are absolutely right. This mascot is one of the most popular and recognized because of his amazing vocals. He also has a signature catchphrase and friendly look that appealed to both parents and children. When Tony first graced grocery shelves in the 1950s, he looked similar but not identical to the tiger we recognize today. Instead, his head was more of a football shape and his eye color was green instead of the current yellow cat-like color. Tony was created by Leo Burnett in 1951. Originally, Tony the Tiger was designed to target moms, who were the main grocery shoppers at the time, and their children. However, in recent years, advertising to children, especially when it came to sugary breakfast cereal, came with restrictions. As a result, Tony developed into an increasingly muscular athlete. Kellogg's has even changed to their advertising audience to dads, who have become the primary shopper of the household, according to an Ad Age article. One thing that has remained the same until recently, however, is Tony's voice. Up until his death, Thurl Ravenscroft, the same man who sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," was responsible for Tony's voice. Energizer Bunny. If we say batteries, few of us would think about the cylindrical items you can buy at the pharmacy or hardware store, as we have grown so used to rechargeable batteries. In fact, unless it's a hashtag Throwback Thursday, we might pay very little attention to these kinds of batteries, which is why having a recognizable mascot has been a game changer for Energizer. We're talking about the pink flip-flop sunglass-wearing bunny that first walked across TV screens in 1989 while beating a drum. This bunny is true to his catchphrase and really does keep going and going and going, so much so that he required a millennial update. In order to appeal to a more contemporary audience, Energizer has recreated the bunny while making sure he maintains recognizable features so as not to harm the brand. Now the bunny has a wider range of motion, softer fur, and more human-like facial expressions, making him resemble a human's movement. Even his hop is a bit different. Energizer also used the opportunity to update their catchphrase to simply "still going." This mascot's popularity is massive and includes spoofs from Saturday Night Live and the creation of an Energizer Bunny float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Pillsbury Doughboy. Pillsbury Doughboy first became the baking company's mascot in 1965, and a lot of thought and money was put into the little character. The concept came from trying to make an approachable and friendly helper that looked similar to a delicious piece of dough. Thus, Poppin' Fresh, or as we know him, the Pillsbury Doughboy, was created. In his debut, Poppin' Fresh was created by using stop motion or claymation, and the puppet used to make him cost $16,000. His voice also involved a lot of thought, as 50 different voice actors were considered for the part. Clearly, attention to detail was the way to go, as Poppin' Fresh remains the helpful, adorable mascot we recognize today by his chef hat, blue eyes, and soft, pokeable belly. His little giggle also adds to audiences' nostalgia that surrounds Pillsbury products. Today, Poppin' Fresh is completely animated and interacts with products and people in commercials. This is intentional to make him an essential component of the ad. As a result, it's nearly impossible to think about the brand without picturing Poppin' Fresh. This is clearly a successful ad campaign that has stood the test of time. Thanks to this giggly mascot, Pillsbury is now sold in approximately 30 countries, including India, Latin America, Germany, Austria, and Israel. Wendy. Fast food restaurant Wendy's derived its name from their mascot. Wendy was based on the 9-year-old daughter of the food chain's founder, Dave Thomas. Naturally, as the restaurant evolved and aged, it became time to revamp Wendy's look. In 2013, Wendy's logo changed from an old-fashioned, more Western, boxy look to a more colorful, updated look. In the newer design, Wendy's face is more prominently framed, and she even looks older. Her recognizable red pigtails are still center stage. There has even been speculation about the subliminal message message included in the design. Some people began to notice that Wendy's new collar now spells out the word mom. However, Wendy's senior vice president has denied that this was intentional. Meanwhile, this accidental message actually works quite well with Wendy's overall branding that posts that it's fast food that tastes more like mom's cooking, or at least that it's fast food mom will approve of. Wendy's appeal continues to be popular and is even taking on its own life among internet artists. Ever since Wendy's showed some sass in Twitter comments against other fast food chains, artists have been posting drawings of Wendy reimagined as a sassy and adorable anime character. Larry from Quaker Oats. With the shopping demographic becoming increasingly health-conscious, many food products have been updating their marketing strategies to appear healthier. Quaker Oats is definitely one such company. While the Quaker Oat products have remained the same, Larry has received a very subtle makeover. If you look closely at Larry's collar, you will be able to notice that he looks about 5 pounds thinner and a bit younger. Though oats are absolutely healthy, the brand's decisions to make a couple tweaks to their beloved mascot stems from a concern that consumers might be deterred if a chubbier face is on a food product. Although Larry is still wearing the same outfit, his jaw is a bit more pronounced and his hair is slightly shorter. The font on the box is also slightly different to give it a more modern stylistic look. Michael Connors, the vice president of design at Hornell Anderson, stated in a Wall Street Journal report that the changes were intentionally subtle in the hopes that few people would notice them. We want to hear what you think about this change in the comments below. Would an overweight mascot turn you off from buying a product, even if it was healthy to begin with? Ronald McDonald. McDonald's decision to make over their red-haired clown mascot came from a new marketing strategy based on launching a social media marketing campaign. Naturally, the changing landscape of how consumers interact with brands demand that companies ensure their mascots evolve with the times. However, people are extremely overwhelmed with Ronald McDonald's new Twitter-ready look. Ronald traded in his yellow jumpsuit for yellow cargo pants and a vest over a striped red and white rugby shirt. For formal events, he has an alternate look with a red blazer and bow tie. The pocket of the blazer sports McDonald's recognizable golden arches. This design wasn't just created by anyone, but by Tony Award-winning theatrical costume designer for Beauty and the Beast, Anne Holdward. Further complications arose for the clown due to two contemporary issues. The first problem had to do with terrifying clown sightings that arose all over North America. This resulted in Ronald McDonald having to lay low and wait out the negative reputation clown imposters were generating. We're assuming that the popularity of the It movie also caused the clown's reputation some harm. The second obstacle has to do with the use of a clown as a mascot for unhealthy fast food. For this reason, Ronald McDonald has been doing most of his marketing work for the Ronald McDonald Charity Foundation. Jolly Green Giant. In 1928, the original Jolly Green Giant was a white man who had a giant pea pod in his arms. This was inspired by a recent discovery of a giant pea in England. The design for the original Jolly Green Giant was inspired by the Brothers Grimm fairy tales that were popular as of the early 1800s. The Jolly Green Giant received his signature color and size in 1935 thanks to Leo Burnett Advertising Company. This new version of the Jolly Green Giant was everything his new and current name promised him to be, as he appeared happy and to be of service in his large green form. His new look came complete with a backstory. He was from the Jolly Green Valley, where his job was to oversee the healthy growth of the crops. Not only is this jovial, colorful mascot responsible for the revolutionary way of preserving vegetables through canning and freezing, but he has also become a pop culture icon. If you find yourself in Blue Earth, Minnesota, you can check out the Green Giant Museum. Every summer, the town celebrates the Giant Days Festival and parade that includes giant painted green footprints on sidewalks. It's also possible to purchase vintage merchandise as well as visit the 55-foot statue of the Jolly Green Giant. Mr. Peanut. In 1916, Planters Chocolate and Nut Company ran a contest for the public to submit designs for the new peanut mascot. The winner of this contest ended up being a 14-year-old from Suffolk, Virginia, named Antonio Gentile. The entry was a sketch of a Mr. Peanut with a cane. The graphic design artist added some iconic features like the top hat and monocle, and the Mr. Peanut we know today was born. Mr. Peanut's popularity surged immediately. He even played a role in World War II when the U.S. entered the conflict. An army version of Mr. Peanut was featured on the propaganda posters and stamps. Mr. Peanut has a much more slender and refined look now. The peanut ridges that used to cover his whole body are now only shaded on the front of his lower torso. In the most recent version, he's also frequently wearing white gloves, a white shirt, a black tie, a vest, and black leggings. Mr. Peanut is such a famous mascot. In 2013, the Smithsonian admitted a cast iron version of the mascot into its National Museum of American History. Gentile's family submitted his original sketches to be added to the exhibit as well. Mr. Met. The famous mascot has some recent controversy surrounding it. Mr. Met made his debut on the cover of the baseball team's yearbook in 1963 and made his first real-life appearance a year later. The man responsible for Mr. Met's original design was the art director and graphic designer at a Manhattan advertising agency, J. Walter Thompson. He thought he'd create a mascot that resembled a caricature of a human. This is where the idea of a baseball in the place of a head came from. The original sketches ended up at the Mets head office, and it was decided that he would be the team's mascot. The design became much more refined, adding baseball diamonds for pupils, updating the uniform, and using the Mets baseball cap instead of the original orange cap. Despite Mr. Met's massive popularity in America, he has recently stirred up quite a controversy when his frustration got the best of him during a game. Heckling fans will frequently boo at games, especially when their team isn't achieving desired results. At one event, Mr. Met had had enough and reacted by flipping off the haters in the crowd. This went viral, and the Mets reported that the employee representing the mascot at the time had been fired as a result. Mr. Clean. One of the reasons Mr. Clean made it to our #1 spot is because he underwent several mascot makeovers. Mr. Clean was designed to advertise Procter & Gamble's cleaning product. The concept of Mr. Clean came from the fact that the product promised to clean like magic. As a result, the idea of magic in a bottle spawned the design for a bald, attractive male mascot with a signature gold genie-like earring. When he first appeared in TV commercials with his very own jingle in 1958, Mr. Clean products became the #1 cleaner in the United States. For decades, Mr. Clean has resonated with consumers who have seen him as non-threatening and dependable. However, many people have speculated about the mascot's sexual orientation, and in a 2017 Super Bowl commercial, Mr. Clean was even seen seductively dancing with a mop. The cleaning company tried to explain their mascot's origin and was met with a lot of negative reactions to a creepy CGI child version of the man we are used to seeing. Finally, the biggest change was also in 2017 when Procter & Gamble opted to trade in their animated white version of Mr. Clean for Mike Jackson. What do you think about the evolution of Mr. Clean? And that's all for the 10 famous product mascots then versus now. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Things to catch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.